Hey everyone, Test Drive Unlimited is officially back. The first teaser trailer was just dropped at the Nacon Connect livestream. Let's go ahead and check it out. Well, there you have it. That is our first and only look at the new Test Drive Unlimited game so far, called Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. If you're familiar with previous TDU games, you will of course recognize Solar Crown as being the kind of main competition that runs throughout both TDU1 and 2. Pretty similar to how the Horizon Festival works in Forza Horizon. Now, after that very short teaser trailer dropped, we did get to hear a few words from the creative director at the dev studio. I believe his name's Alain Journeau. I'm probably butchering that. Either way, he spoke a bit about the game, but he kept things very, very vague. The one thing here that gives me a lot of confidence is that he was also the creative director on the first Test Drive Unlimited game, as well as working on TDU2. In his own words, he said for TDU Solar Crown, they're keeping the DNA of the original Test Drive Unlimited games, but also refreshing and modernizing the gameplay to keep up with modern racing game standards. I mean, remember, it's been almost 10 years since the last Test Drive Unlimited game came out, and I would say probably its closest comparison, Forza Horizon, has run unchallenged for almost 8 years. Test Drive Unlimited, though, is practically the father of the Horizon franchise. I mean, TDU was doing things in 2007 that players of Horizon are still asking for today. Test Drive has motorcycles, full house ownership with customizable garage system, convertibles and windows can actually roll down. Same with turn signals. You can get out of the car and walk around, especially in dealerships to buy new cars. I mean, if you look at TDU2 now, sure, it looks like a pretty dated game, but just focusing on the features compared to what Forza Horizon 4 has today, pretty much 10 years later, Test Drive was ahead of its time. So I am very curious what Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is going to be bringing to the table. Now, that teaser trailer did not give us much to go off of. We only saw a very small handful of cars. A few people recognized the Bugatti Chiron and Apollo Intenza Emozione. I'm totally butchering that pronunciation. I think there might have been a Koenigsegg in the background and maybe a Diablo as well. Somebody pointed out that in some of the render footage, it looked like a Porsche 992 interior, but that is really it for the trailer. Now, the creative director did mention a few extra details. Of course, like with TDU1 and 2, they will be replicating a real island in 1-to-1 scale this time. I believe on the first game, it was one of the islands of Hawaii, Oahu, I'm pretty sure, and the second game was on Ibiza. But we have no idea what the island for Solar Crown is going to be. Now, of course, one of, if not the most important thing in a racing game is how the cars drive. And although we don't really know any specifics yet, we do know that they're using a version of the engine that they use for the WRC racing games. And with my experience playing those games, they straddle that line between arcade and realism. It's definitely not a sim, but it's not arcadey like Need for Speed. It kind of has some real world flavor to it, but definitely tunes down a lot of the difficulty. And for me, that is definitely the direction to go for a more casual open world racing game like this. And that is really everything that is known so far about Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Now, obviously, we could start speculating wildly here and picking apart things in the trailer that probably don't mean anything, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I just kind of want to lay out a few of my hopes for what I really want to see in Solar Crown. So outside of a good handling model, which is most important to me, I do want to see a good variety of cars. They're really pushing with this trailer and some of the descriptions of Solar Crown, a more luxury lifestyle and only seeing kind of these luxury supercars. I hope they keep some kind of daily driver, junky, old school cars in the game that were in TDU1 and 2 as well. Next, and this is another really big one for me, the first TDU games were pretty forward with how their multiplayer worked. You know, being able to drive in the open world with, I think it was up to maybe 8 other players that were randomly selected, and that was a cool concept back in like 2008. So I really hope they expand on the live open world concept and let us drive with tons of other players, let us get out of the car around other players and be able to have like real immersive car meets. That is something that the Horizon franchise is sorely missing, and I really want it to come to TDU Solar Crown. Next up, and this is kind of something the original games struggled with, is customization. I'm not asking for, full Need for Speed level stuff here. I want them to keep a higher car list, and I'm okay with them sacrificing some, body kits to do that, but I do want a more fully fleshed out livery editor, more rim choices, and maybe some kind of standard aero or some custom stuff thrown in with at least some of the cars. Outside of that stuff, I'm sure we'll see a return of the home ownership system. I'm excited to see how they expand on that. And then that's really it. I mean, this game is so early on, we really don't know anything about it, so it's hard to say what I do and don't want, because who knows, maybe they're already answering all of the wishes and hopes that I have. So for now, I guess we'll just have to sit and wait for more info. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're as excited for this as I am. I have been waiting so long for another Test Drive Unlimited game. That franchise has such a special place in my heart, and now that Solar Crown is officially here, well, I just can't wait to get more info on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.